Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Marissa. I am one of the admissions representatives who works with applicants for this program. Also joining us in this webinar is my colleague Carla, and Carla is one of the admissions representatives at our Inland Empire Regional Campus, and we will be both presenting today. As we get started, I'd like to note that the entry-level master's program is designed for individuals who already have a bachelor's degree or in progress of completing their bachelor's degree. So if you do not have a bachelor's degree, you might be interested in our BSN Nursing Transfer Program. And we will be hosting a webinar for the BSN Transfer Program next week and would love to have you there. So again, this program requires a bachelor's degree, and we will go into more details about that tonight. We are going to try to provide a lot of information on the entry-level master's in nursing program tonight. We also want to try to answer as many of your questions as we can. So you should be able to see a Q&A box on your screen. And as you have questions, please type them into that box. We have some colleagues who are working behind the scenes and they may answer your question directly. But Carla and I will circle back at the end of this webinar and try to address some frequently asked questions. Many of you have probably already had contact with your admissions representative, and I encourage you to continue to reach out to them with additional questions. But if you have not connected with one of us yet, please visit our website and request information on the ELM program. But once you do that, you will be assigned an admissions representative and they will reach out to you. So tonight's webinar, we will be covering an introduction of APU, the entry-level Master's in Nursing program in detail, as well as how to apply. But throughout this webinar, you might hear us saying ELM or ELM, and that is the acronym for the entry-level Master's program. So I'm going to start with sharing a little bit about Azusa Pacific University. We offer more than 200 online and on-campus programs. We have over 8,000 students enrolled at APU, and more than half are in our graduate and professional programs. In our entry-level master's program, we do admit 25 students to each cohort at each campus where the program is located. So there is a 25 to 1 student to faculty ratio. We like this model as it allows our students to get to know each other in their cohort and learn to work together just as they will when they are working as a nurse. The small cohort size also means that our students will have the opportunity to know each other and collaborate with their faculty and feel close to the APU community. And the university was founded in 1899, so we are a well-established institution, and our nursing programs began in 1975. Azusa Pacific University is an academic Christian institution that is built on 4 cornerstones. So these are our values, and they include Christ, community, scholarship, and service. Belief in Christ is central to all that we do and all that we think and do and who we are. Azusa Pacific University is a Christian school. Now, this does not mean that you have to share these beliefs if you attend our program, but it does mean that staff and faculty will be Christian and that those values can be integrated into the course that are part of the program. We also believe in community. We are richly diverse people who value the worth of each individual. Our mission is to encourage, equip, and enable each student to fulfill their great potential, and in turn, encourage, equip, and enable others. We have students of all different ages, stages, cultures, and backgrounds in this program, and that diversity really adds tremendously to our students' experiences. And we value the fact that everyone has their own perspectives and past experience that make them the unique person they are. And the knowledge that students gain from learning and working together in this community will further equip them to be an amazing nurse. That leads us to scholarship. We are called to scholarship shaped by our Christian faith. We are committed to teaching excellence and preparing our students to excel in their field. If you research nursing programs, you will see that we are consistently ranked among the top nursing schools in the country. Service is also at the heart of our programs, and we offer students opportunities for local and international outreach, missions, and service learning efforts. Our ELM students do complete community service nursing projects while they are in this program. In our nursing program, you will find that all of these cornerstones are included in the experience, and our Christian staff and faculty do incorporate their faith as they teach, encourage, and mentor their students. Alrighty, now that you know a little bit more about the university, let's go over the program details. First, you may be wondering if this program is the right fit for you. The entry-level master's in nursing program, it is designed for individuals who have a non-nursing bachelor's degree and are now seeking to enter the nursing profession and complete a graduate degree in nursing. So if you have completed a bachelor's degree in a subject other than nursing and you are ready to start in the nursing field, then you are in the right place. Okay, so as you go through the journey of looking into nursing school, it is important to verify if they are accredited. We are accredited by the California Board of Registered Nursing, which means that we are recognized for the educational requirements needed to sit for the NCLEX RN license exam. And for students who complete one of our nurse practitioner specialties, you will be certified to practice as an NP in the state of California. Our programs are also accredited nationally by the Commission on Collegiate Nursing Education, and we are also regionally accredited by WASC. Now, as you consider our program, these are just a few highlights for choosing APU. So as we mentioned before, our student to faculty ratio is 25 to 1, and that is during the pre-licensure part of the program. And then the post-licensure, it's 12 to 1. We will elaborate on what pre and post-licensure means in the next slides. But I think the other important aspect of our faculty here is that most of our faculty are still working as nurses. So they know what's going on in the field and are very passionate about it and are invested in our student learnings to become amazing nurses. And graduates are eligible for the California Registered Nurse License. So you can sit for the NCLEX and get your RN license after you complete the first 18 months in the program. And our curriculum includes the requirement for the public health nursing certificate. There's a number of post-licensure specialty options that you can select from. So the post-licensure specialty options do include clinical nurse specialist, health administration and leadership, nurse practitioner, and nursing education. And graduates with certain specialization can also apply for the national certification. Now, graduates will receive 2 degrees from APU in this program. So there's the Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, so the BSN, and the Master's of Science in Nursing, which is the MSN. Now, honoring both the BSN and MSN is what makes our program unique from other institutions. And our alumni rank APU among the top 25 universities nationwide, according to a study that's published by the Journal of Consumer Affairs. Now, this really highlights a positive perception of their educational experience here at Azusa Pacific University. But beyond that, students attend small classes and receive personalized attention in a supportive Christian environment from experienced faculty, many of whom are clinical nurse specialists or nurse practitioners. And our campuses have state-of-the-art facilities, including skills, health assessments, and simulation labs, as well as smart classroom technology. Okay, now let's go over how the ELM program is structured so you have a better understanding of what you will experience while in this program. So the program is a 2-step program that combines basic nursing education with an advanced degree. You will often hear the 2 parts of the program described as pre-licensure and post-licensure. The pre-licensure portion of the program is a cohort model of 25 students, which consists of 6 units and take about 16 to 18 units each semester. After successfully completing 4 full semesters plus a 7-week residency in the 5th semester, students are awarded their BSN degree and are eligible to sit for the NCLEX RN licensing exam. And as I mentioned before, honoring the BSN is unique compared to other schools. We strongly feel that our students should be awarded the BSN degree when you finish the pre-licensure coursework. And this is helpful when applying to jobs and applying to those magnet schools or magnet hospitals. From there, they proceed to the second step or the post-licensure phase. So in this part of the program, students are completing their Master's of Science in Nursing or their MSN degree. And the MSN portion of the program consists of about 37 to 58 units, and this depends on the specialty that is selected. But it can take 2 to 5 years to complete, depending on your specialty and the pace that you go while working as a registered nurse. Again, this post-licensure is designed to be completed while you're working as an RN, so you can study your MSN degree full-time or part-time. And there's a lot more flexibility during this part as you're working as a registered nurse. But overall, I would say this makes the entire program about 3.5 to 6 years long, depending on your specialty, as well as the pace that you go while completing the MSN portion. Now, I want to briefly touch on the specialties that we offer as part of the ELM program. So, Azusa Pacific University offers two options for the clinical nurse specialist. There's adult gerontology and pediatric. And then there's four options for the nurse practitioner specialty, and that is adult gerontology, primary care, family nurse, pediatric, and psychiatric mental health. And we also offer specialties in healthcare administration and leadership, as well as nursing education. And then lastly, we offer a school nurse service credential that's combined with our family and pediatric NP specialties. We show this list because we know that many of you might be thinking about what specialty to apply for. And we would like all of our applicants to be thinking about their ultimate goal within the field of nursing or where they might like to specialize in the post-licensure portion of the program. But we also want to reassure you that it is okay if you're not sure yet. We understand that you might not know what to specialize in right now. And this could change after you complete clinical placements in different settings. In reality, as students complete their pre-licensure portion of the program, the faculty in the School of Nursing will help you determine which of our specialties will best help you reach your ultimate goal. Now, we are often asked about classes and clinicals. So first, we offer this program at three locations: Monrovia, Inland Empire, and San Diego. Our program operates for 3 semesters each year. So the fall and the spring semesters are 16 weeks long, and then the summer semester is 12 weeks long. So while students attend 5 semesters consecutively during the pre-licensure portion, there will be a break between Christmas and New Year's. There's a week for spring break, and then there's a small break when the summer semester concludes in July, and then fall term begins again, like the last week of August. So our student schedules, they do vary depending on where they are in the program. So in the pre-licensure portion, students typically have classes about 3 to 4 days a week. And then clinical placements are 1 to 2 days a week. On average, students spend about 70 to 80 hours per week attending class and clinical placements, as well as completing their course reading and homework. So the School of Nursing does advise students not to work during this part of the program, as this part is time intensive. But in contrast, there's the post-licensure portion of the program. So after the first 18 months, you move on to the post-licensure portion, and this is designed to be completed while working as a registered nurse. And students have the option to attend part-time or full-time. They can take terms off as needed to complete this part. But this allows them to balance a new nursing position, as well as handling their course load and other commitments. We offer extensive skill simulations and health assessment labs. We want our students to be well prepared for their clinicals and eventually work in the field. Now, clinical placements also vary throughout the program. We have great relationships with our local healthcare providers that allow us to provide excellent and varied clinical experiences for our students. These do include small regional hospitals, hospitals run by the major healthcare providers, as well as urgent care centers and other medical clinics. And clinical placements are assigned based on a 50-mile radius around the campus that you are attending. And at each of our campuses, students complete their clinicals and residency primarily in hospital settings during the pre-licensure portion of the program. And in the first 4 semesters of the program, pre-licensure students are typically assigned to a clinical group of 8 to 10 students. And keep in mind that since the beginning of the program, for those first 18 months, it is accelerated. So students typically begin their clinical placements by the second week of the program. But in the post-licensure part of the program, clinicals are usually completed in a one-on-one placement. And these placements will depend on the specialty that you choose. So we are also unique among most master's degree programs in that we have a full-time placement team that works to secure clinical placements for our students. And as you know, nurses' schedules vary and include shifts at all hours of the day and night. Therefore, students must have flexibility in their schedule to participate in clinicals that can take place on the night shifts, very early mornings, and sometimes Saturdays. Alrighty, as I wrap up my part of the presentation and before I hand it over to Carla, I do want to cover some expectations and support that you will have as an APU nursing student. So as a reminder, the first 18 months of the program, it is full-time. Students can be on campus 3 to 4 days out of the week and 1 to 2 days at their clinical placements. You do need to be able to commit to 70 to 80 hours per week for classes, for clinical rotations, and for studying. Most of our classes happen during the daytime, though, so from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Also, depending on the clinical placement, the clinical instructor will inform students what time they are expected to be at the hospital, but it can be held between 7 a.m. and end at 7 p.m. Now, some of the support we have for our students, we do a lot of NCLEX prep all the way through the program. We want you to have feedback as you grow through classes and know what areas you are mastered in and what areas you need to work on. That way you are better prepared for the exam. We offer small class sizes for more personal experience. We believe in mentorship and offer peer student to student mentoring as well as faculty mentoring students. And we offer a tutoring and writing center to support you as you go through the program. And our financial service counselors are also available to assist our students with financial aid and financing issues. And we also have a military and veteran service office, which is there to help our military connected students throughout their journey here at APU. So I'm going to hand it over to Carla, who will share about our application process and the requirements.
Yes, thank you, Marissa. Yeah, so we'll be going into admissions requirements. So next slide. So now that you've heard about the program structure, we'll move on to see how you qualify for admissions to apply with us. So on this side, we have a list of admissions requirements. So go ahead and take a look at that. Applicants must complete our online application. And there is a $45 application fee. There you go. Okay, perfect. So that's the link. So we do require official transcripts indicating that you've completed your degree. We only require unofficial transcripts for the evaluation, and we'll go more into detail in the next upcoming slides. And so we do require students to provide those bachelor's degrees for official transcripts indicating you've completed your degree. If you are still in the process of completing that degree for one of the application deadlines, connect with your admissions representative. And then we do accept both electronic and mailed copies if they're directly issued from your institution. And so you can make sure to request those transcripts to be sent over to the graduate and professional admissions office. We also require a personal statement or essay up to 3 pages in length and should be double spaced. Written communication skills along with content will be assessed. So please review the prompt on the admissions tabs of the ELMA page on our website so that you can see exactly how to respond to that prompt. And then pause, I did forget to mention, please feel free to continue submitting submit your questions on the Q&A so we can help you with any questions. And then moving on to your resume, you will also upload your resume and you can highlight any paid or volunteer experience that illustrates how your skills can transfer over to nursing. And so questions that I get are, I work at Starbucks, I work at Target, how could it be transferable to nursing? Still very transferable. Your multitasking, your attention to detail, your providing that customer service. So very transferable to nursing, and so that's definitely things to highlight. We did want to highlight that the ELM program does not require any healthcare experience. So if you're kind of concerned about that, please don't let that deter you from applying. You can definitely apply with us for this ELM program as it's designed for students who are looking to make a change in their career. And so once you upload, the way to upload your resume and essay actually is once you submit your application, a new page will pop up for you. It'll take around 15 minutes, but once you've submitted your application, that window will pop up and you can upload your essay and resume there. It'll present to you a drop-down menu. And then moving on to your two recommendation forms. So the two recommendations are required and must come from either current or former faculty or supervisors. We ask that references complete the APU recommendation form. So super simple. Once you've confirmed who your references will be, you can enter their first name, last name, and email addresses into your application portal. And then as soon as you save that information, it'll send an automatic email over to them so that they can fill out that recommendation form. APU has its own way of, uh, how students can be, I guess, referenced in their recommendation form. So we ask that students would go through that. They do have an option to attach a recommendation letter. So definitely take the time to choose recommenders who will put in that time to fill it out for you. The application will not allow you to submit without entering the names of your references. So definitely take the time to think about those references so once you start applying. And so in addition to the two recommendation forms, we do require students to have at least have a 3.0 GPA for their undergraduate degree. Candidates with an undergraduate GPA below 3.0 may be considered for provisional admissions. And then a cumulative GPA of 3.0 or higher among the science prerequisite courses are also required. And then all prerequisite courses must be completed before applying for the application deadline. And so part of the process is also an admissions interview. Not all candidates are chosen for an interview, but if you are, it's still not a guarantee of being admitted, but it is a step in the process. And then you'll hear from an admissions rep later on if you are admitted. And then we'll go more into detail as well. And so we'll go on to the next slide. So this is probably the meat and the bones of all that we do is making sure we are on track for all the prerequisite courses so that you can qualify for the application deadline. So for the non-sciences, you're looking at writing, public speaking, introductory psychology, human growth and development, statistics, and research methods in a behavioral science field. And then for the sciences, these are all including labs. We require general microbiology, human anatomy, human physiology, and for chemistry, it's organic and biochemistry. So they all need to be completed by the app deadline. And so at this point, you're probably wondering, I have some of them. I don't know what that class is. How do I know? Well, we'll go into that in our next slide. Okay, so yeah, one thing to note is that we do not have any recency requirements for our prerequisites. So applicants are not required to retake courses that they took many years ago and you have to retake. However, there are circumstances where you do need to retake courses for different reasons, as if courses didn't transfer over, or maybe you want to have a higher science GPA. Due to the following. So grades of C- and below will not be accepted. All courses in a series must be completed to fulfill a requirement, and all other parts of the series must be completed at the same institution. Labs must also be completed at the same school as a lecture, specifically for the sciences. And then prerequisite courses can be retaken for a higher grade. So if you do retake a course, that's great news. Your new grade, the higher grade will replace your current grade, and it'll actually help increase your GPA and your chances of acceptance. Okay, so on to the next slide is how to check if you are on track for your prerequisite courses. One, it's a self-evaluation process. We do have a list of prerequisite courses that are equivalent, so they're called transfer guidelines. And so they're available on our website. In the next slide, we'll show you, and you can actually move on to the next slide. It'll show you a QR code, a link that you can go to the transfer guidelines. This is an example. It'll look something like this. And you can refer to that. If for some reason a course that you took isn't on there, you can discuss that with your admissions representative. You might be able to obtain a copy of a syllabus just to see if you can obtain a credit for that course. So definitely connect with your admissions representative about that. The best way to do that is, again, by following this website and self-evaluating for yourself. And then the next one we'll look at is actually how to do an official evaluation with us. Okay, so we do recommend this one just so less room for error. It's really a great option, especially if you want to get a better guide as you're registering for your courses. So you can obtain a free, no obligation transcript evaluation by starting your application and submitting it. So as a reminder, the application system will not allow you to submit your application for an evaluation without entering the first name, last name, and email of your references. And so the reason being, we do require an application open and submitted so that we can start an evaluation. And so here are the steps just to start it. And so one, you're starting an application, adding those recommenders, uploading your copies of your unofficial transcripts, or sending them to our admissions team. And then once you have that ready, basically it takes around 7 to 10 business days for us to generate that evaluation. You'll most likely get a phone call from your admissions representative saying that, hey, it's been uploaded on your application portal. You don't have to wait for us though. There will also be an email update saying that there's been an update to your portal. You'll click it and then the document will appear and you'll see which classes have transferred over. So that's basically the process of it. So it's great to look it over. You can set up an appointment with your admissions representative to also look at it, check your different options, and it'll also give you a better idea as to which application deadline you'd be most qualified for, as we do require them to be completed by the application deadline. And then the next slide will show you an example of that. And so most often than not, the students that we work with are still on track. Maybe they're missing one or two, or they're looking to retake some courses. That's totally great. We can continue working with you. You can defer your app for another term deadline so that you can continue to work on your application as normal. You won't have to start a new one. That is that for the evaluation. And then we'll actually move on to application deadlines. Okay, so we have 3 application deadlines for the year. We just had one past January 15th, but we do have an announcement for that too, so stay tuned at the end. And then we do have our upcoming deadline, which is May 15th. Oftentimes we get questions about when the term actually starts and then the whole process. So for example, May 15th, that's the next one that's coming up. Students are going to be starting the term this August, which is in fall. And then if students are going to, if you apply for May and looking to hear back from us, usually it takes around 8 to 10 weeks after applying with us. And you'll probably hear back from us sometime in July for the May 15th deadline. So you could just calculate kind of the weeks there. And then you'll be receiving a phone call and an email from us saying, hey, you've been admitted. Congratulations. We cry, we laugh together. It's a great time. And then we will let you know that there will be a $500 non-refundable enrollment deposit due within about a week of us making that initial phone call. So definitely something to keep in mind right now, that'll be due if you are admitted and to start planning for it. A total of 25 students are admitted for each cohort per location. So that's 25 for Monrovia, 25 for Azusa. Oh, sorry, 25 for Monrovia, 25 for San Diego, and 25 for Inland. That'd be great if we had a fourth, but that's okay. So we have those spots available for students. And then we often get the question, can I apply to multiple locations? I really want to get in. I love Elm. So the short answer, no, we do have just one location for students. So we'll give them that offer for that one spot, so that we can offer, of course, other spots to students who have applied for that. And so that's it for application deadlines. We do not have, sorry, one more thing. We don't have a rolling admissions process. So the offer that you are made for that specific location, it's for that specific location. So you're like, hey, like this happened, I have a vacation coming up. Can I actually move it to the next term? You unfortunately no. So you would need to go through the application process with the rest of the next deadline of the students, the applicants. So not an option, but just want to let you all know if you are making those plans. Okay, so now we'll be moving into student financial services and how to plan exactly for your program. So here's our program costs. This is a great conversation with students. The ELM program is a 4-year program, sometimes longer, just depending on your specialty. And so the cost is also broken down between the two programs and the length of time. And so the pre-licensure portion, you've also heard it as the BSN portion, the accelerated program. That is the 18 months, and that is the $59,340 cost. So in those 2 years, that's what your cost is. So that's how we break it down. It's around 69 units. And so the post-licensure, that's where the cost varies with each student. Just depends on what specialty you end up choosing, as Marissa shared all the specialties. So some are more, for example, psychiatric mental health, that one has more units than probably the rest of the nursing specialties. So that one's probably on the higher end of the post-licensure. So definitely take the time to think about that. You can start doing your research now as to which specialty you're interested in. And then it's also great to do your research now so that it helps you write out your essay for your nursing goals. And then it can also prepare you for an admissions interview also, just so you get a better idea as to what you're getting yourself into. And then also, if you do end up getting admitted into the program, you don't officially have to declare your nursing specialty until the end of the BSN program. So you still have time gaining that exposure to which specialty you're interested in. So don't feel like you have to be locked in. So that's a really important thing to just note. So again, this is the cost that is broken down into the two programs. And so you students can pay as they go. And then we'll go into the next slide talking about financial aid. So students can apply for FAFSA, and that's the next slide, and they can apply for any scholarship or grants, federal student loans, military and veteran education benefits, company reimbursement, and admitted students can look into apu.scholarshipuniverse.com. And so we also wanted to let you know, please keep in mind that the entire ELM program is considered a graduate program, so that definitely helps students as they're continuing their education. So students might be eligible for federal loans up to a max of 20,500 per year, and students generally make up the difference by paying out of pocket or by securing private loans. There are some additional options in the post-licensure program, but they'll probably help you out by once you get there. And then since you'll be working as an RN while taking your courses in the MSN portion, it is possible that your employer will have a tuition assistance for benefits. And there might also be some options for grants and loan forgiveness for students who want to become nurse educators or work in an underserved community. So you definitely have a lot of options. As you break down the costs, now our hope is that you can start planning accordingly. Next slide. And so here's the code if you want to take a picture of it or just make a quick note on the code. You can apply for FAFSA. The way this process works is when students are admitted, that's when we usually encourage students to apply for FAFSA, and then your financial aid package will be prepared. You'll probably get a better idea as to what your financial aid package will be after you've been admitted. Of course, you can go to this website, fafsa.ed.gov, just to see what maybe your cost estimate would be. We admissions representatives don't know exactly what you might qualify for, so definitely get in contact with them so you can verify that information. Okay, and then feel free to write this information down. This information is basically, this is for our student financial services department. So you'll probably get in contact with them once you've been admitted into the program, probably not right now since you're applying, but helpful information. Your admissions representative will also connect this or relay this information with you once you've been admitted into the program. And then the next slide is going to be information about our military and veteran education benefits office. And they also hold monthly information meetings so that you can tune into those and see what you might qualify for and how to use that assistance. So feel free to take down that information. And then I will pass it back to Marissa for our first Q&A.
Thanks so much, Carla. Alrighty, so we're going to cover some frequently asked questions. So this is the first one. How are GPAs calculated for the admission process? So the department will consider three GPAs for admission. They will look at your cumulative GPA that is listed on your bachelor's degree official transcripts. And then they will also consider the non-science prerequisite GPA and then the science prerequisite GPA that will be listed in your prerequisite evaluation report. So if you retake a prerequisite, we will consider the highest letter grade and we will use the highest letter grade to accumulate that new prerequisite GPA. And then Carla will take on the next question.
Is healthcare experience required to be admitted? Short answer is no. Our School of Nursing does not have a requirement for hours spent shadowing or for any healthcare experience. However, having some can be helpful in the admissions process. But again, not required. Just want to make that clear. Some of you may already be working in healthcare related setting and know clearly the role that nurses play. For those of you that are not, I know it could be difficult, especially knowing maybe the experience you have or just knowing like maybe I can't connect the dots here, and that's okay. An example of that is we've had students in the past who have applied and are able to show their transferable nursing skills or started volunteering somewhere and they really feel like they got a better hang of things within that job care setting. And so there's a wealth of information on the internet as well. That's definitely going to be a great tool for you to check out various nursing positions and then also reach out to your network to conduct informational interviews just to see what it's like for different specialties specifically and just what the latest trends are. And then all this information again is only helpful for you as you write your admissions essay and then for your admissions interview. So that's about it for me.
So I'll take this question. What makes a good candidate? So I think having a good understanding of what nurses do, what your goals are, why our program is a good match for helping you achieve these goals will be helpful. We know that this is a competitive program and we are limited to accepting 25 students. So you do need to be strong academically, having good grades, especially in those science prerequisites. We do not use any standardized tests for admission, so like TEAS or HESI or GREs, we don't ask for those. So we do put a lot of the considerable weight on those science prerequisite courses. Um, as they have shown with our, past students that those science classes do correlate with student success and how likely they are to pass the NCLEX on the first try. So having good grades and science grades is hopeful. And also excellent communication skills is also important. That comes through having a well-written essay. So they not only want to have you so they don't, that they do not only want you to answer the questions on the prompt, but you want to make sure that you have them written out um, nicely. So also, if you're selected for an interview, it's another opportunity for the department to see if what they are seeing on paper matches who you are in person. And then being prepared, you want to take this interview as if it were a job interview. So be on time, dress professionally, and be able to articulate why you want to be a nurse, what your goals are in this field. So I would say all of those aspects of the application are important, as well as recommendations that gives our faculty insight about you. So I always encourage students to just always turn in the best version of each of those pieces because they do look at applications holistically.
Okay, thanks, Marissa. Yeah, so the question is, how will I find out if I'm admitted or denied? So, and the next question is a deposit required if I'm admitted to the program? So all files that are completed by the deadline will be sent to the School of Nursing for review. When they have selected the 25 students they wish to admit, all applicants will be sent either an admissions or a denial email. Admitted students will also receive a phone call from their admissions representative. Please be sure to keep your admissions representatives updated with your current contact information so you can be sure to get the notification of your admissions decision. Students who are offered the admission will be required to pay a $500 non-refundable enrollment deposit to secure your spot within the cohort, and that'll be due within about a week of us making that initial phone call with you. Again, the deposit is non-refundable and it will be applied to your first tuition bill.
Thanks, Carla. So I will answer this question. Can I work during the program? So students are advised to not work during the pre-licensure portion. So that is the first 18 months, first 5 semesters. However, after the pre-licensure portion, you can work as a registered nurse while finishing your MSN degree. Okay, and then so those are some frequently asked questions. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the chat to see if we have additional questions from a few of you. Okay, so first one, we do have some. Okay, so do you accept online prerequisites? Yes, we do. So if the class is online, that's perfectly fine. Feel free to take it online. We will accept that. And then, do prerequisites need to be completed by the deadline? Uh, yes, so science prerequisites need to be completed by the deadline, and then you can have two of the non-science prerequisites in progress by the deadline. And then, Carla, do you want to take the third one?
Yes. Okay. So the question is, can I apply to more than one campus? No. So the application and location you choose initially, that's the offer that you're going to get. So there has been in the past just confusion about that. Monrovia is in Azusa, so it's in the LA area. San Diego's in San Diego area, and Inland Empire is located in San Bernardino. So check your Google Maps, see, you can also make an appointment with your admissions representative to see which one might be closest to you. Some of you are probably at the halfway point, and so some locations are probably a little bit more flexible than maybe other applicants. So definitely take the time to think that through, think about what your route might be traffic-wise for the day of Monday through Friday, where you'll be in classes specifically in the mornings, and then as you drive back home in the afternoon. So it's something to consider. So definitely take the time to choose the correct location on your application. I know that's something that you want to do because it is, again, full-time, it is rigorous. So you want to make sure you're choosing the location that's best for you. And then, so short answer, no, only one location for your application. And then I will take the next question also is, how do I know if my prerequisites are accepted? So we went over the official evaluation process. So if you're kind of unsure, I'd probably just recommend that option for you. And it's easier for us too, so we can track it with you. So one, you start your application. You send us your unofficial transcripts. And again, you click submit on that app. You click submit, or else it's just going to be waiting there and you won't get your evaluation. You submit your unofficial transcripts. The evaluation will generate. It'll take around a few 10 to 14, or maybe shorter than that, but 10 to 14 business days for us to generate that document. You'll be receiving a phone call from us and an email saying there's been an update to your portal. We can go over it together, and it'll show a check mark like physically on the document that class has transferred over. If there's a class you really think you should have gotten credit for or confused about, that's when you can call us. We can go over it together to clarify any issues with that. So it'll be just a clear thing to see on the boxes that it's been transferred over. So yeah, great question. And then I'll pass it back to Marissa for the next question.
Yeah, so I see one here. What is the cost of the program? So it's kind of split, right, with the pre-licensure and the post-licensure. So there's kind of a range, but to kind of give you an idea of the base cost of what it'll look like paying, from start to finish, you're looking at an estimate of about $91,000 to $110,000. I know that sounds scary, but you don't have to pay for that up front. Again, it is split, so you do the BSN portion first, and then you move on to your MSN portion. So, yeah, the numbers will look different depending on that MSN degree and the specialization that you commit to. And then what are the admissions deadline? So we do have three deadlines each year, and it'll be the same. So we have a May 15th deadline, and that is for the fall term, September 15th deadline, and that is for the spring term, and then a January 15th deadline, and that is for the summer term.
Thank you. Okay, so do prerequisites have an expiration date? Short answer is no. As long as you've completed them and they're in the correct series and all that, yes, they should transfer over. And then you'll see it clearly on the evaluation if they have transferred over. If even if you've taken them within the last few years, they should be able to we should be able to accept them. Okay, and then the other question is there a fee to have your prerequisites reviewed? No, it's completely free. It's wonderful. It's a great thing to have for yourself and for myself as your rep to kind of view it together. It's really great. We can print it out. We can meet in person. We can talk over the phone and discuss your different options. So it's completely free process to do.
And thanks, Carla. Let's see here. Okay, how soon after applying do I find out if I get in? So I would like to note that our application cycle for this program, it's not rolling admission. So the department will not start reviewing applications until the deadline. So it doesn't matter, let's say you submit your application 2 months before their deadline, they won't review it until after the deadline or the deadline. So I would say from that deadline, so let's say January 15th, you should hear back from the department about 8 weeks after that deadline. And then students are notified um, through their email and then or phone call. And then there's another one here. Do I need officials or unofficials to get an eval? No, you don't need your officials. So in your application, what will happen is you'll submit your like the demographics, so your name, enrollment history, and then two recommendations. And then once you submit that, the application will then create a checklist for you. And in that checklist, that's where you can upload copies of your transcripts. And once you upload that, you'll save, log out, and then our evaluation team will go ahead and review those transcripts for you. So once that's done, you will be notified via email that an update has been, there's an update in your application portal, and you can go ahead and look at that report to see which classes you have met and then which ones are still missing.
Great. Yeah. So sorry about the confusion. Yeah. So you'll need official transcripts once you're ready to apply. So it's usually closer to the app deadline. So like the January, May, or September 15th deadline. It's closer to that deadline when we could see everything's been completed. We don't want students to, be spending a lot of money on their official transcripts for just an evaluation. So once it's closer to the deadline, we can see all the items are good to go. That's when we let you know, hey, it's time to order your official transcripts. You're all set to go. Now's the time to finalize your application. So official transcripts won't be necessary until you're closer to the deadline. So, and then if you have questions about how to get in touch with your admissions representative, you can email admissions@apu.edu to get assistance from us. So that again is admissions, ADMISSIONS @apu.edu. And then one of the other questions was the NCLEX. So sorry for not going over that. Yes, the students are definitely supported along the way, especially in their BSN portion, to obtain their RN licensure and to pass their NCLEX exams. There's a ton of support throughout the entire progress of the BSN portion. on top of your regular in-class instruction. So definitely supported. I'm not too sure about the NCLEX pass rate. I think the number that's reported on the website might only include Azusa students, maybe undergrad, and then ELM students are different from that. And we do offer a lot of nursing programs. So that's the main thing there. And then on that note for the NCLEX, we do have a great reputation. So students, a lot of the people that come into this program, it's usually word of mouth or just, I mean, we do get a lot of inquiries from the program, but our reputation just precedes us, and we just have a great nursing program where students are supported, are cared for, and of course are supported for during their BSN and their MSN portion. And so I'll pass it along to Marissa.
Mhm. Yeah, so I think we have one more. Let's see. What is the process if you get waitlisted? Yes, that's a good question. So there is a wait list. And so how that works is you will be notified that you were placed on a wait list. Now, how this works though is you will get moved off the wait list if someone in the cohort drops out or just they don't submit their deposit, so they're declaring that they're not going to accept our offer. So I know it is a waiting game, right, when you're on the wait list, but students are notified if they are on the wait list. And if you have questions about that, if you are placed on the wait list, you're more than welcome to contact your admissions rep and they can go into a few more details about that. But just know if you're waitlisted, you'll have to wait in hopes of someone that has a spot in the cohort drops out. This can also happen the first week of the semester. Some students just feel, hey, I don't think this is right for me anymore, and they drop out, and then we'll go ahead and pick someone from that wait list. Again, if you have additional questions about anything that we went over today, please reach out to us. Don't hesitate. You can email us at admissions@apu.edu, and we'd be happy to help answer some more questions. So, yes, and thank you all again for joining us today.